Hey, welcome to the Power Shift podcast. This week we have a great and special guest, Senator Keturah Herron from the Kentucky General Assembly. She represents the people in District 35. Can you tell me, Keturah, what area of Louisville is that? The state of
Yeah,
it, as you say.
yes. First, thank you all for having me and for the work that you all were doing. But Senate District 35 is a large district. It encompasses Old Louisville, which is the area in which I live in. Then it goes a little west, and so I've got a piece of California, Park Hill, um, and Shively. I also have a piece and part of Shelby Park. I go down
Okay.
by U of L toward Churchill Downs. I have the original Highlands, so Cave Hill Cemetery is a border, Churchill Downs is a border. I also have the airport, UPS. I go out toward the south, so I've got Newburgh, and I also have a small piece and part of Okolona. So it is a
Wow,
large district.
it is.
Yeah, and I would think that it's the most diverse district. It is around 48% white, 17% Latin Hispanic, 20 plus percent black, and the rest is other. So it
Wow,
is
that
it is a
is
very
diverse.
unique and diverse district.
Yeah, how do you balance all of the different people that you have? I mean, you've got all the way from California to UPS. How do you balance that when
I
you're
mean, I
working in
think the
Congress?
biggest thing, yeah, the biggest thing is like for me is like knowing and understanding from the people to the businesses are my constituents. Everybody is my constituents, and even with the businesses, they have employees who may not live in my district but work in my district, and so I try to make sure that I know and understand what the needs are of the people, but also what are the needs of the business community, and then most importantly, what are the needs of the people who work at these industries and businesses. And so that is the way that I've been legislating, especially the last couple of years.
Right. So you started off as a representative, and then you ran for Senate. How long have you been senator for this district?
So I am in my second year of a 4 year Senate term.
Okay, okay. I want to talk about today with you about the Kentucky General Assembly. I think a lot of people out there watching sometimes don't understand state government. They concentrate more on federal government, which we should concentrate on that as well. But we have local government in Metro Council, we have state government, Kentucky General Assembly, and we have the federal government as well. So tell us a little bit about, give a brief, I mean, as brief as you can, explanation of kind of what the Kentucky General Assembly is and how it affects daily life in Kentucky.
Yeah, one of the things that I do when I go and talk to kids, I just tell them about, or I ask them what type of rules do they have in their house. And they usually say they got to do chores or take out the trash. And
Right.
I'm like, well, that's the same thing that we do in Frankfurt, is that we create rules or laws for the state.
Mhm.
So anywhere from driver's license things to ABC regulations. Like those are the type of things that we do at the state level. And so in the House of Representatives, there's 100 members, and in the Senate, there's 38 members. So I am one of 38 individuals that represent over 40 million people. And
Mhm.
so it is very unique and it's very humbling. And the other thing that I would let people know is that we have a short session and a long session.
Yeah.
And on the even years, which was this past year, is a long session, which is the session in which we pass a budget. We pass a 2 year budget. And then on the odd years is when we have a short session or a 30-day session.
Right, right. So you mentioned something when you said ABC. It made me think of something. So Lyndon Pryor, who is our president and CEO of the Louisville Urban League, always says something that's going on in your life is a vote. So going on here in Louisville right now, we have the issues going on Bardstown Road with the quote unquote teen pop ups or whatever, with the local bars and restaurants on that street. Is that something that Kentucky General Assembly considers or votes on or makes statutes about?
I mean, I definitely think that that issue could turn into statewide legislation. Our ABC, or Alcohol Beverage and Control Office, we have a state office, there's a local office. And I will say this, the laws and rules in ABC are very complex. It's a lot, and I won't get into the
Yeah.
dynamics of why it's a lot. But it's a lot. But you could potentially see some things around that. I think that last year what we saw was people drag racing, and so
Yeah.
we did see a piece of legislation that was geared toward drag racing. It did not completely pass. So yes, sometimes local issues do get legislated at the state level, depending on what it is. But I will say this about the teen takeovers, and I know that I don't know if we were really going to get into that.
But
Is
go
is
ahead.
that
Yeah.
is one, we're seeing this across the nation, so it's not unique to Louisville.
Right.
Two, when I was a 20, 21, 22-year old, I was actually on Bardstown Road at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, as well as a lot of other people who are my age were doing
Right.
that. But I think the thing that we have to really think about as it relates to what's happening right now in Louisville, there's really a lot of things have been taken away from the city proper. And so once the Baxter Avenue Theater closed down, we don't have a theater inside the Watterson right now. So there's
Wow.
not a
Mhm.
movie theater inside the Watterson. Not saying a movie theater would change the dynamics of what we're seeing
Yeah.
with kids being outside, but that is just one example of, if we don't have those things for folks to do, folks are going to find something to do, and I believe that that's what it is that we're seeing. But I mean, I used to think about going to and check getting that late movie at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and by the time you out, it's one something. You tired, you go home and you pee and go to bed. And
Right.
so like,
Right.
we have to be innovative and find those things that we need to have in our community to make sure that all people have something to do, whether it's work, play, or family time.
Yeah, people need third spaces to go to. When I was younger as well, I wasn't necessarily on Bardstown Road, but we had skating rinks, we had Robbins Roost, we had Champs, we had Blinkers, we had all these little dance clubs. Um, and there were places for people to go. We didn't have to congregate outside because there were places to go. There were used to be, like you said, movies. There used to be all types of little movie places with four screens, and they were $1. So it is important that people have third spaces, and you're gonna continuously have this problem unless you provide third spaces for people to go to. Um, Also, tell me, this past year, she said it was the long session. It was 60 days. Tell me some of the things that happened this year that you are proud of, things you're disappointed in. You don't have to get deep into the whys and hows, but what's some things that you're proud of that happened, and what's some things that disappointed you?
One of the biggest things that I'm proud of is that I was able to pass my first Senate Bill 222, that created a process for our brownfield properties, so our properties that have been contaminated and have not been redeveloped. And
Yeah.
so, what we were able to do was really just put in a process that says that once somebody is ready to develop that land and it has been approved, so it's not changing any type of environmental regulations, but once it has been approved and cleaned, that there's a quicker process for that original company who polluted it to come to the table to make sure that we can get that property redeveloped.
Right.
So that was huge. And then, one of the biggest things that I'm proud of is I got money for my district. I think that anytime that you're able to get money for your district is a huge win. It's hard to get state money,
Hmm.
local money, federal money.
Right.
And so I was able to get $3 million to help revitalize Old Louisville. So really concentrating on the Fourth and Oak corridor. And
Yeah.
so we're in the process of figuring out what that is going to look like and be. Was able to help secure $2.5 million for a housing project that is related to brownfield property. So that went along with the piece of legislation. that I had, was able to help secure $3 million for the Speed Art Museum, which is also in my district. And
Wow,
then
that's great.
also, yeah, and then also we did some money for the airport to expand our flights out to the West Coast, and to attempt to get more direct flights. And so we know that we are close to a lot of places here in Louisville, but when you're talking about the West Coast, we don't have a lot of direct flights. And so when you're talking about business or attracting young people or getting young people to stay here who want to work from home, but they've got to travel, that is a very important thing, because those flights out to the West Coast, if you got to do a connector, it'll eat up 2 days just
Yeah,
traveling. And so
yeah,
that is things that I'm very proud of and excited about. And those are, I believe that all of those things just don't have a benefit for the people in the 35th Senate District. It has a benefit for the whole city and
yeah.
the Commonwealth. And so I'm very proud and excited of that work.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, listeners, this is what we're talking about. When you vote for state senate, you or federal senate or representatives, this is the kind of thing that they're doing for you, right? She's getting money. She's doing redevelopment, which brings jobs. She is trying to make her community better, right? And not just in her little district, like she said, she's helping the entire Commonwealth. Like the thing about the airport, that's huge, right? Everyone uses um, Muhammad Ali Airport, right? So it's something that you all have to think about when you're saying, oh, it doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Here's something that matters. Here is somebody who is out there working to make sure that your life is better. So I just want to remind everybody in the corner up here, we got a pledge to vote. Please pledge to vote. We're trying to get 52,000 Jefferson County people to come out. I mean, Black people, Black voters to come out and vote. Because it matters. It really does matter. If it didn't matter, there wouldn't be so many people trying to take your vote away, diminish your vote, diminish your power. If they didn't care, they just let you vote, and no one would raise an eyebrow, right? Also on the screen, Jordan, our producer, has been putting up ways to contact your representative, because not, Keturah can't represent you all. She represents her people, but you can find out who your state or local representative is, and you can find out how to contact your state legislator. So, Keturah, when you get things from people contacted, do you take that seriously?
I mean, absolutely. And a lot of times, I try to contact people back directly, depending on what it is. I mean, I get calls from, businesses trying to get plumbing in to their spots, to people who are incarcerated and they're trying to either go to a funeral of a loved one or stream a funeral from a loved one, to people giving me policy ideas and solutions, to people needing help getting plugged in, to getting their kids a permit, because those
Yeah,
lists and things are long. I mean, it's a plethora of different things. People having issues with their government assistance or housing. I mean, it's a plethora of things that I get tapped on a lot. And so what I attempt to do is, a lot of times the priorities and the things that you see me push, I would say 90% of those things are things that have come directly from a constituent. The Senate bill that I passed, Senate Bill 222, came from a constituent. They brought me that issue in November of last year, and I was like, this is going to be priority, and we were able to get that done. And so I definitely do that. I will say sometimes I fall short and say I'm going to call you back. I might not do it. Somebody else may do it. But it is a lot. I represent 115,000 people,
right.
and it's one of me. We do not have paid staff. That I don't have like somebody who's with me 24 hours a day when I'm out in the community or whatever. So it is a lot, but it's very humbling and it's an honor, and I love doing this work. Sometimes I don't love the things that come with the work, but I do love being able to represent our people in our community, and it's learning. And I
Mhm.
think that sometimes when we talk about our elected officials or politics or why things are. We say we want people who look like us, sound like us, who know us, who's of the people to represent them. But folks also have to know there's a learning curve. I didn't
Yeah.
get a playbook. And so
Right.
I'm
Right.
learning the processes, and it's I've been elected now for 4 years, 4.5 years, and this year is the first time I was able to get money in the budget, and so it took me 4 years to know and understand how do I move and navigate this budget process to get things in. But I mean, it is what it is, and this is what we signed up for. And I just, as you said, Felicia, it is so important for folks to get plugged in and make sure that you get out to vote this year. We have a lot of people who are registered, and in Kentucky, we have a huge turnout issue. And
Yeah.
so make sure that not only but your friends, your families, your neighbors, your coworkers, make sure that they pledge to get out and vote this year. And then find out why people don't want to vote, and,
Right.
and
Right.
and find that out and talk to them. And if you don't have the answers, try to plug them into somebody else that does have the answers. But as we know, if folks have paid attention to some things, we know that sometimes elections can come down to 5 votes, 10
Yes.
votes, 15 votes, or even 1 vote. And
Yep.
so, yes, your vote, your voice does matter, and it does count. So I hope that everybody takes this serious and really gets plugged in this year.
I appreciate that sentiment because that is exactly what we're trying to do with this power shift campaign is to make people know that, like I said before, if it wasn't important, so many people wouldn't be trying to stop you, right? They're trying to dilute your power. They're trying to take it away. They're doing all types of voter suppression. We have power as the people. There's only, I ran across this statistic about how many quote unquote rich, quote unquote multi-billion or multi-million dollar families there are in the United States, and it's less than 500 families.
Mm,
It's more of us than them, right? And if we
mm,
want to move this country forward in a direction that values all people, that values every single life equally, we got to get out there. We got to engage. We can't just sit by and just let things happen to us, right? So I appreciate you today, Keturah. Get out there and pledge to vote. The QR code's in the corner over here. For more information, please go to lul.org/vote. You'll find out how to go to our events. We have a JCPS forum for all the new school board districts coming up in August. We also have the Souls to the Polls initiative, where we're getting with faith communities and other organizations to get their sphere of influence of people to get to the polls. So please join us next week. I haven't found a guest yet, but there will be somebody here beside me talking about the Power Shift and the Power Shift podcast. Thank you so much, Keturah, and we are out.
peace.